Here, every story hides a secret, and every mind hides a shadow. Today, we enter the high mountains of South America to meet one of the most prolific and terrifying killers you've probably never heard of. His name is Pedro Alonso López, a man who claimed to have murdered more than 300 young girls across Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru. They called him the monster of the Andes. And what makes his story truly haunting is not only what he did, but how the system let him go. Pedro Alonso López was born in 1948 in Tolima, Colombia, the seventh of 13 children in a life soaked in poverty and abuse. His mother was a sex worker. His father was killed before he was even born. At just 8 years old, he ran away from home after his mother caught him trying to touch his sister and threw him out into the streets. What awaited him there was worse. He was taken in by a man who offered him food and shelter and then assaulted him repeatedly. From that moment, López would later say, something inside him broke. As a teenager, López lived as a drifter. He survived through theft, scams, and prostitution. In Bogotá, he was arrested for stealing a car and spent time in prison, where he claimed he was assaulted by several inmates. He retaliated by killing 3 of them. Prison didn't reform him, it refined him. When he was released in the 1970s, he crossed borders into Ecuador and Peru, now obsessed with little girls. He would lure them with small gifts, candy, toys, or promises of work, and then vanish with them into remote hillsides. One by one, girls between the ages of 8 and 12 disappeared. Families searched. Police shrugged. These were poor children from isolated towns easy to forget, easier to ignore. López buried their bodies in shallow graves, often returning to the sites to relive his crimes. In Peru, he was once captured by a tribal community while attempting to abduct a young girl. The tribe was ready to execute him, but a missionary intervened and convinced them to hand him to police. The police released him. López simply moved on to Ecuador, and the killings continued. In 1980, fate finally caught up with Pedro López. Heavy rains in Ambato, Ecuador, exposed graves near a school. As authorities investigated, they found the decomposing remains of several young girls. When police arrested López trying to abduct another child, he confessed not once but repeatedly. "I killed 300 girls," he said calmly. "I like them young because they cry. They are innocent." López was convicted of 110 murders in Ecuador, though authorities believed the real number was much higher. His sentence? Just 16 years, the maximum under Ecuadorian law at the time. In 1994, after serving 14 years, he was released for good behavior. Colombia briefly arrested him for a second murder, but declared him insane, held him in a psychiatric hospital for 3 years, and released him again in 1998. The monster of the Andes simply vanished into the chaos of South America. To this day, his whereabouts are unknown. Some believe he killed again. Others believe he died on the streets, faceless among the forgotten. Pedro Alonso López's story is more than a catalog of horror. It's a mirror held up to our world. It shows how poverty, neglect, and corruption can build the perfect storm for monsters to thrive, and how weak systems can fail to protect the innocent. Hundreds of young girls vanished into silence and their killer walked free. Evil isn't always caught. Sometimes it's released. This is Minds of Darkness. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to support our channel. Your support helps us create more dark stories, true crime mysteries, and deep dives into the minds of history's most twisted figures.